Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to our Gymnasium for tonight's women's basketball contest featuring your home Queensborough Community College Tigers and the visiting Bronx Community College Broncos. At this time, we ask that you please rise and move your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Introduce tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting Bronx Community College Broncos, led by head coach Pete Cepeda, assistant coaches Kenya Bryant and Jessica Varela. For the Broncos, starting number 3, Julia Home. Number 4, Maya Gibbons. Number 10, Dati Faye. Number 12, Selena Brownchick. Number 23, Talia Rodriguez. And now fans, let's meet the starters for your home Queensborough Community College Tigers. Led by head coach David Chambers, assistant coach Teresa Rodriguez. For your Tigers, starting number 14, Christine Fry. Number 22, Nicole Chavez. Number 24, Samira Ahmed. Number 32, Marva Dudley Adams. And number 55, Ashanti Rogers.
This is QCC alum David Russell along with Joe Massey. The Queensborough Lady Tigers about to take on the Bronx Broncos. Queensborough 1-4 in CUNY. When these teams met a few weeks ago, Bronx won 79-36. Early in the second semester of the season now. Queensborough down to 6 players, which is about how many people are in the crowd tonight.
Well, you know, Dave, it's going to be a really tough test for Queensborough tonight with the players at hand, as you said. 6 players. So you hope nobody gets in foul difficulty, and you just you put it out there for the whole course of the game. Bronx has a few more players, by the way. They have 6 girls on the bench, or about 5 girls on the bench.
I think they might be able to hear us on the benches from up here where we're announcing. Very quiet, Jim. There's a long 2 taken, no good. Wonder if Queensborough would slow things down today with the limited amount of players. May not want to exhaust themselves too much early on.
It looks very funny because Dave Chambers, he looks very lonely over there. I'm not making a joke. It just looks like there's nobody with him on the bench.
Dudley Adams for 3, it's no good. And chased down by Givens. And Givens pushing it to the basket, no good. And rebounded by Rogers.
Here's Ahmed. We'd like to see her level out a little bit. She has the potential to be a good player here.
Ahmed in her second season, and now Chavez. There's nobody there for Queensborough. Turned over. And Julia Hone almost lost it. Givens go inside. Radoncic shot, no good. And Rogers with another rebound. Queensborough coming off a 76-20 loss at Suffolk a few nights ago.
Not the fact that they lost by so much, just the amount of points they were able to score. That's what hurts.
Bronx is an interesting team. They don't play a lot of close games, and they beat Kingsborough by 45, then they lose to Hostos by 35. They beat Rockland by 34, lose to Sullivan by 44 as that shot is no good. Pete Cepeda was saying you never know which team is going to show up for the Bronx.
I'll tell you this, David, we did that game last year in February where we headed over to Bronx at the end of the year. That was a good game that they played Queensborough there in Bronx in the postseason, but these two teams are quite different from those two teams.
Tigers foul charge number 22, Nicole Chavez, first personal foul, first team foul.
In fact, the Queensborough Bronx games have been very spirited over the last few years, very much a rivalry almost type atmosphere.
Not so much tonight. Hone makes the first.
Well, that's understandable.
Maybe the cold weather also playing a factor.
Yeah, that has something to do with it too, I'm sure. Because
nobody really on campus either with the
parents
break.
And the parents and the younger people are usually right behind the team.
A little over 2 minutes in, Lady Broncos leading 2-0. Bronx in that zone. Chavez almost fell down, kept her dribble. Ahmed back to Chavez, going baseline. Shot is no good. Fye there with the rebound. Chavez another shot, and it's good. And we're tied at 2. So Bronx looking to take back the lead. They go inside. And Faye's shot is short, but she got her own rebound. Then it's knocked around, and Queensborough has it.
So far, really tough defense by Queensborough. They're not making it easy for Bronx to get shots off in the early going.
And good job by Chavez to go inside and pick up the foul. And Chavez will go to the line for 2.
And Chavez has come out and playing very aggressively, going right to it.
First free throw is no good.
You've said that a few times.
Yeah.
They still have a deficit in their free throw shooting.
Chavez makes that one, and Queensborough has their first lead of the night, 3-2, 3 minutes in. Radoncic gives Bronx a 4-3 lead.
Good open look there. They swung the ball to the right. She had the baseline jump, and she hit it.
Ahmed to Chavez. Dudley Adams puts up a 3, and it's long and rebounded by Givens. Nothing but white jerseys in front of her, and she'll slow it down. Good job getting back by Queensborough. Go inside, and a foul called. Faye was fouled attempting the shot, and she'll go to the line for 2.
Trying to jumble down there on the low post, that Adams just got a piece of her as she was going after the ball.
With the small crowd, Rick Rossetto might not even need the microphone to do the PA announcing, as the free throw is no good. I thought they might introduce the crowd to the players just to save time. Misses both. But it will stay with the Bronx as Rogers last touched it.
Been thrown in by Bronx from underneath as they weren't able to garner in that rebound, as you said.
Hone, catch and shoot, no good. And that's last touch by Radoncic.
Well, that time Dudley Adams kept her hands away from the ball as Radoncic went over her to tip it out.
Queensborough with the ball, down 4-3. Almost 4 minutes in. Chavez to Ahmed. Rogers at the free throw line, out to Dudley Adams. Dudley Adams going baseline. Pass to Chavez. She likes that spot and she hits. And Chavez has all 5 points for the Lady Tigers.
Exactly.
Double team, tries to get it to Radoncic and doesn't. Queensborough doing well in the early going.
Yeah, especially on the defensive end.
High arcing shot from Ahmed, too long. Rodriguez directing traffic, back to Hone. Givens, go inside. Nice pass inside, but Rodriguez can't finish, then she gets back her own miss. And tough angle shot is no good, tipped around. Say jump ball and it will go to Queensborough. Rogers having a little bit of a tough time hauling in the boards.
Yeah, they're not getting anything easy in there for
Rogers
Bronx.
will take a seat on the bench as Lisa Theodore goes in. Dudley Adams outside. Chavez had it stripped. Good job by Knoll to get the hand in.
Poked in there at just the right time and stripped the ball away.
And a foul on Chavez. That's going to be number 2.
Charge number 22, Nicole Chavez. Second personal, team foul number 3. Jaisha Velasquez in for Bronx.
Now, Pete Cepeda has about 7 new faces on this team this year for the Bronx team.
That shot is no good. 4.5 minutes to go, and a nice catch by David Chambers, as it will stay with the Bronx.
Still going to be Bronx ball, as you said. So, yes, go ahead.
And Garrett in for the Bronx.
Garrett is their leading scorer.
Leading scorer, leading assist total, second in rebounds, leads in steals. Looking to be the difference maker today. And Rodriguez called for traveling.
Last time we did the men's game, Hostos didn't put their leading scorer until the second half, you remember.
He still had 20.
And he made a difference in the game.
Chavez puts up a 3. It's no good. Thought she might have been hit, but I think Hone got the ball. Garrett fires it to Rodriguez, and then Rodriguez is called for a second traveling in a row.
That was a nice no-look pass there by Garrett.
Except Rodriguez, I don't think was expecting it, as David Chambers calls a 30-second timeout.
Well, that's apt to happen on this level, Dave. You can be a great player and kind of outplay your teammates at times, and you don't want to do that, but you don't want to hold down your own basic abilities either. So 3:57 to go, and it's Chavez 5 and Bronx 4.
Well, this is better than the game a few weeks ago when Queensborough lost by 43. They're hanging there, and Pete Cepeda was telling us he doesn't know which group of players is going to show up for him on any given night.
Well, he's trying to ride it out here and see exactly what he has this year. He's not all that confident. Of course, Dave Chambers really has his problems and is up against it. So these are two coaches that right now are trying to assess different things.
That's why Coach Cepeda, I think the last few years, was probably a little more fiery.
Yes.
He's a little more laid back today than we're used to seeing him. Queensborough goes inside. Bounce pass. And I don't think that's what David Chambers wanted out of the timeout. It's Garrett to the basket. Couldn't finish, and Theodore with the rebound. Loose ball. Good hustle play to go on the ground, and Hona's there, but she misses. And a wraparound pass, which wasn't expected, so Queensborough gets a break there.
I'll tell you what, Dave, as many problems as Coach Cepeda might have with his team, I think Dave Chambers would like to have a Garrett on the court for him right now. He doesn't have that type of player.
Ahmed, it's good. Got the friendly roll, and Queensborough leads 7-4. When these teams met a few weeks ago, Garrett had 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists.
She's very energetic, and if she can keep it kind of bottled up a little bit, she can do good things.
Queensborough defense playing well here. Bronx with 4 points in the first 7 minutes. Queensborough in the 2-3 zone. Garrett for 3, and that's no good. And Dudley Adams with the rebound.
I think they went into the zone specifically to push Garrett outside because she was starting to make some good passes getting the ball down low. So now we have a foul down on this end.
Bronx charge to number 3, Julia Hall. Her personal foul, second team foul.
Good ball movement by Queensborough, and there's a strip.
Hone basically just took it away and puts it in off glass. Queensborough 7, Bronx 6, 2:25 to go in the first quarter. Ahmed to Chavez, and Chavez put that shot up over 3 Broncos. Knocked around, and Dudley Adams has it. Chavez to Ahmed. You go inside, Phi, no good. Dudley Adams there with the board and the basket.
Good rebound by Dudley Adams. She boxed out, had position down there.
And that shot is off. Ahead, Ahmed. And Hone with another strip, although that
What
goes
did
out
you
of
say?
bounds.
You said ahead, Ahmed. You didn't mean to rhyme on that either.
I'm a poet and I don't even know it.
Queensborough looking very, let's say very confident early on here. They're not doing a bad job.
Well, it's one of those where if you're Bronx, you want to put the team away early and don't even let them hang around. Dudley Adams makes a 3. And Queensborough leads 12-6.
Well, Dudley Adams, who always says thank you to us when we say nice things about her, and she's such a nice young lady, she just had a good couple of minutes there.
It always pays to be nice to us, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Rodriguez off glass, too strong. Knoll with the board, and traveling is called. Very good defensive effort the first quarter by the Lady Tigers.
12-6. Queensborough's built a 6-point lead early on here with 1:11 to go in the first quarter.
Theodore to Ahmed. Go to Chavez. It's a 3. No good. Rebounded by Knoll. Wasn't a bad look. Just didn't make it.
No, they're getting good shots. They're moving the ball nicely. It's a question of whether they can continue with the amount of ladies they put on the court.
Nice pass from Leitner to Rodriguez, although she takes it back out. In the lane, off glass.
Strong move by Rodriguez. She was a little indecisive and then said, I'm taking it to the basket.
Came close to taking too many steps, but she got the shot off. 12-8. Queensborough can run the clock down, or they could turn it over. And it's a 2-on-1. Leitner going all the way and putting it in off glass. Leitner coming off the bench. She's second on the team in points, about 15 a game.
And that's a reason why with the speed she can get up court.
Down to 2 seconds.
Whoa.
That pass was last touched by Phi.
That was a fastball where you had to throw a change up there.
Can they get it off in 4/10 of a second? No.
At the end of the first quarter, it's Queensborough 12 and Bronx 10.
All in all, good first quarter for Queensborough. They played very aggressively. They played good defense. See if they can keep it going.
Good job by the Bronx to get those 4 points in the last minute. All of a sudden, it's a 2-point game, but you got to like that if you're Queensborough up by 2 after some of the struggles they've had.
And, David, you have to figure that's the way this game is going to go, that Queensborough's going to have to play very assertively, not make a lot of mistakes. And if they let Bronx have too many turnovers, then this becomes a little bit of a run the other way.
And it's interesting, you have to be assertive and yet not just out of control turning it over every possession either.
That's what is interesting. I told you, though, I think David's a good coach. I really do. And I think he's been working with these young ladies, and he's trying under very difficult circumstances, obviously. He's expecting another 2 girls to come into the program, but he also is expecting to lose maybe another girl. So, you know, those are not good numbers that he has to work with.
The only returners from last year now are Ahmed and Dudley Adams, and the rest are freshmen.
And they're 2 good players, I mean, but not the kind of player Queensborough's put on the court in the past, in the top spots anyway.
Right. The Bronx bench looks a lot more crowded with Cepeda. You have Jessica Villola, who used to coach Hostos. It's a busy bench. Queensborough's bench is pretty quiet, especially once those 5 players are on the court. It's just Coach Chambers and 1 sub.
Yeah, that is Jessica Villela, who did a good job over there at Hostos before she left. Let's see that defense again from Queensborough. They've been very, very tough on the defensive end so far.
Rogers may have gotten away with the foul. From your laughter, I'm going to assume she did.
We're not going to say anything.
Ahmed, Bronx defense looks a little more aggressive.
Yes, they are.
Ball on the ground. That's a 3-second violation. Ball back to the Bronx.
You have to think that Coach Cepeda, who's been around a little while now, is telling them, you're going to have to wear these girls down, and you got to be aggressive and bang them around a little bit.
So Bronx looking to tie or take the lead. Hone. So I gave a head fake, Velasquez did, to the basket, no good. And Theodore with the rebound. Is more aggressive than we're used to seeing Queensborough. They're really going up for those rebounds with some purpose.
Yeah, well, we like Theodore, and she had to kind of contort to grab that one.
3-pointer off the mark.
I just have the feeling that she's going to have one of these games where she's going to play really well here one night.
Maybe today.
Maybe.
Go inside. Back out. Hone. Velasquez for 3. No good. And Rodriguez right there. Couldn't have passed it to her any better. And this game is tied at 12.
Yeah, Rodriguez right in position underneath. Had the box out. Just grabbed the ball, put it back in.
So Bronx on a 6-0 run.
And they're getting very aggressive, as you said, defensively.
And Hone puts it in off glass.
That might be their second lead of the night. They had the lead very early, but Queensborough's held it most of the way.
All of a sudden, it's an 8-0 run.
They're forcing Queensborough to make those passes a little quicker now, as you see.
And they're having trouble getting inside, although there's a foul called there.
Coming out on the wing, number 13 reached it. As I said, number 11. Eight minutes on the clock in the first half, 14-12. First team foul on Bronx.
Ahmed.
Oh, she forgot the ball there, David.
Leitner going all the way and puts it in. Bronx leads 16-12.
And a few of those have been done on the turnovers.
Starting to press a little bit, Queensborough. Leitner puts up a 3, and it's good. And David Chambers calls timeout. And all of a sudden, it's a 13-0 run for the Lady Broncos.
Yeah, very bad, about 4-minute span for the Lady Tigers. They were playing very well. They came into the quarter with a 12-10 lead, and it's all been been all Bronx here in the second quarter, and basically a lot of turning it up on defense. That's caused Queensborough into some mistakes here that has ignited the Broncos.
+6 has turned into -7 on the scoreboard. And they're not getting inside. They're kind of starting to force some shots on possessions. I thought Chavez put that last one up a little too fast.
Yeah, well, they're making them rush the passes, and as a result, they're not getting the looks at the basket that they were getting, and everything has kind of snowballed a little. So we'll see if Coach Chambers is able to remind them of what they were doing earlier and tell them step back and get a better look at the defense before you go right into the teeth of it and get yourself all caught up.
And the offense has been a major problem for Queensborough this season. Very rare for them to get to 50 points in a game.
They're probably not going to score a lot of points, so they're going to have to keep those turnovers at a minimum.
Now the press put on by the Bronx. Theodore and Chavez up ahead to Dudley Adams, going all the way to the basket, and the shot is off the mark. And Leitner, some nifty dribbling. Hahn, back to Leitner. Go inside, Rodriguez. Hahn for three, and banks it in. I don't think she meant to do that, but it counts all the same. It's 22-12. And that was almost turned over. Kicked out of bounds.
Still out of sync as Bronx has found something and they've stuck to it. They're just spanning out on the wings and forcing them to make those tough passes.
You'd like just to see a pick and roll or a backdoor play or something, but everybody's trying to put up a three. It's a challenge just to complete a pass.
Yeah, they're not playing with a lot of confidence right now, so to make those passes, very difficult.
On their heels, Theodore launches a three, and it's good. And that ends a 16-0 run. They needed that in the worst way.
Yeah, that score went from 12-10 to 22-12 before that three by Theodore. But they commit a foul down here right away.
They say you hit the three, then you got to get back on defense, and Bronx got back in about 2 seconds. The second foul on Dudley Adams.
It does seem like a very uphill proposition for Queensborough. Even when they make a good play, they're going to have to hustle back, and with the amount of girls they have, it's going to be a letdown sometime.
Leitner misses the first. The good thing about having the 6-point lead when Bronx went on the run, it was still a 10-point game.
Yeah, and the good thing for Pete Cepeda is he's taken the girl out, now he's put somebody right back in, and it's his leading scorer and leading assist girl again.
Leitner has that rim out, and they get a second chance. Garrett for three, and it's good.
You just put her back in the game, and she responds, so.
Well, they missed 2 free throws. You got to get the rebound. Dudley Adams bounced past to Theodore, but it was kicked. I thought Dudley Adams might just run over Rodriguez.
Looked like it.
Yeah, right? Thought they were on a collision course.
Have to get a good shot here, David. You're now down by 10 once again. Down by 10 after that outside shot by Garrett.
6:05 to go in the second quarter. Chavez, a lot of dribbling. And that pass is stolen. Leitner puts it in off glass, and it's like a runaway train right now.
Nice move by Leitner to ease up and just kind of slide to the basket there.
Ahmed is fouled before the shot.
Wow. Queensborough's only basket since they had the 12-10 advantage has been that three by Theodore.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So going to look for something good here. She's open again on the three line, and they didn't swing the ball quick enough to get it to her. They'll have 15 seconds to work with now.
Pete Cepeda off the bench for I think the first time today. Leitner trying to go all the way again, and again she lays it in. Leitner didn't even start this game. She has 11 points.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing about Leitner. She is consistent with those layups when she gets the turnovers. She doesn't miss them.
Well, Garrett's the best player on the team, but Leitner's the one we've been watching this first half. Dudley Adams for 3. No good. And Chavez, nice hustle to save it in, but here comes Leitner again. A little too fancy that time. I tell you, not a lot of fouls. They're letting them play. Dudley Adams to the basket, and she puts it in off glass.
I was just waiting for them to get that ball up there. They had 3-on-1, and they couldn't get it up to Adams till just then.
And Rodriguez went back outside and then missed.
So that was Queensborough's second basket. They have a 3 and a 2. They have the lead at 12. See what they can do here.
And Leitner almost stole that one. Leitner with about 3.5 steals per game. Bronx as a team has about 21 steals per game. They really forced the issue.
They're a fast team. So if you turn the ball over, and Leitner makes the fast breaks when she gets the opportunity. So
Dudley Adams, Rogers, the shot is no good. And rebounded by Velasquez. Leitner, bounce pass up ahead to Garrett. Garrett lays it in.
yeah, she's nice and smooth too, by the way.
They're putting on a clinic on transition offense as Queensborough commits another turnover.
Well, that's what we said coming into this quarter. We said if Queensborough can limit the mistakes and not let Bronx do what they're doing now, but they haven't been able to do that.
Bronx calls timeout. May have just been for rest because a few of the players immediately went to the Gatorade cooler.
Once the turnovers started taking place, that's when Bronx started going on their run. Up to then, Queensborough had been playing good defense, forcing them more to the outside. But Leitner, I think she hit about 4 breakaway layups. Garrett has contributed a couple. So right there, you're talking about 10 points. And it's got to be tough for David, what he's going to say to his squad right now to get them more involved. It looks like they're giving it a lot of effort.
What do you say, just cut it to 8 or 10 at halftime? Make it manageable for the second half?
Just play as well as you can play. Don't even look at the scoreboard right now. That's what you got to tell them, because it's not really important. What we need to do is start playing well. Don't worry about what the score is. Put something together here. Because the more you look at the scoreboard, David, the harder it's going to become. They know now that they're 14.
Is that for us or them?
Them. They know they're 14 points down, and they're not an explosive team. So
No.
that's very difficult. So when that happens, you press.
And the half-court defense hasn't been that bad, but Bronx has gotten so many fast break opportunities off the turnovers. And Garrett with another 3, this one from the corner.
And Garrett was just telling you, we're going to get there. So here's a 3 for you, David.
And Leitner almost had another turnover, but her foot was on the line.
All right, so now it's a 17-point lead. So that's why I say you can't look at the scoreboard at all right now.
I'd like to know what the Bronx coaching staff said in that huddle after the first quarter as another Queensborough turnover occurs. Whatever they said worked.
He must have said something to the tune of let Queensborough just play themselves out of this game, because that's what they're doing right now.
Garrett no good on the 3, but Noel with the rebound, and then she's tackled, but there's no call. We like the refs that let them play. We don't want to watch a free throw shooting contest. Under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Remember, Chavez had the first 5 points for Queensborough. She hasn't scored since. Garrett lays it in. She was deciding, she was looking up, she goes, do I give it to Leitner? Now she already has 11. Let me get in double digits. 36-17.
Yeah, that nice, smooth, pass the ball around, not be flustered thing, that's out the window right now.
Rogers will go to the line for 2. 26-5 this quarter. 30-5 if you include the last minute of the first quarter.
That's not good, Dave.
Good for Bronx.
Certainly is. And the two players you mentioned, Leitner and Garrett, have really been recipients of that. And Rogers makes a free throw, and they could use a few of those too. Oh, it is the old Globetrotter trick.
They say
there.
lane violation against Theodore, so she won't even get to take the second one.
They're laughing about it a little bit. At least they got to keep their hopes up.
Not laughing too much, though. And Garrett, another 3. That one's no good. Out of bounds, and it will stay with the Bronx.
Man, they couldn't get that rebound that time. That's a tough one.
Man, when Pete Cepeda say he didn't know which team may show up on a given night for the Bronx, it's a different team in each quarter. Velasquez up high for the rebound and then back out. Radoncic. Hahn. And traveling is called. 2 minutes to go.
Got to go very slow in this regard.
Ahmed to Chavez. Theodore. Pass is tipped. Almost turned over. Dudley Adams to Rogers. Theodore thought about the 3. Takes a tough 2, and it's no good. Tipped around, and the Lady Broncos have it. Under 100 seconds to go in the second quarter. And Hahn and Rogers blocked the shot, but was called for the foul and was hit in the face.
Queensborough foul charge, number 55, Ashanti Rogers. Personal foul.
That's got to hurt a little more than it normally would. Well, Bronx just taking advantage of whatever Queensborough gives them. And they've done a good job of doing that.
Hahn makes the first. The third Lady Bronco in double-digit scoring.
As we've seen, Pete Cepeda likes his teams to be opportunistic. We've seen that. And this team has done that here in this first half, and they've now built a 20-point lead.
And it started off so promising for Queensborough, the 12-6 lead early, leading after the first quarter. They're going to have their work cut out for them if they want to make it competitive in the second half.
You know, you get 6 points in the quarter. You need more than that. And there's a traveling.
Garrett thought about another 3. Hahn takes the 3. No good. And Phi falls down and is called for traveling.
One word for this: difficult. Very difficult.
1 minute remaining in the second quarter.
Inside Radoncic. Hahn. Nice fake. Gonna go inside, and traveling called before the shot. Or a 3-second violation, beg your pardon.
You got a break on that one. Ball should have been put in the basket.
Very strong second quarter defensively for the Bronx as Ahmed makes that shot. 38-20.
Almost a three-pointer. Just inside of three, she launched that.
Radoncic, nice move, but couldn't make the shot. Then gets it back and misses again. Velasquez misses. It's 3 times. Queensborough could hold for the final shot. 15 seconds to go. Ahmed, Dudley Adams. Back to Ahmed. Down to 5 seconds. Dudley Adams, a 3. No good. Rebounded by Velasquez, and that'll do it for the first half. And a 28-8 quarter for the Lady Broncos.
Yeah, it totally changed the game, Dave. And another thing that would be nice is if Queensborough could, find an outside shooter who could hit some quick outside shots, get them back in the game. They don't have that either. So very much an uphill battle tonight, and they're 18 points down as we go to halftime.
So we'll see if they can make a game of it in the second half. Second half about to get underway. Bronx leading 38-20. Queensborough a good first quarter. They were up 12-10. Then the Lady Broncos turned it around, outscored Queensborough 28-8. Now Queensborough trying to make it competitive in the second half.
Yeah, and went into the second quarter with Queensborough holding a 2-point lead, and they came out of it in bad shape. They were 12-10 in front as they went to the second quarter.
It was 12-6 with about a minute to go in the first quarter.
And they start off very promptly with a turnover again, so that's not going to help. But let's see what transpires over these next couple of minutes.
That took all of 5 seconds. Look at the Bronx leaders in the first half. Leitner had 11, Hahn had 11, Garrett had 10. The Queensborough leading scorer was Dudley Adams with 7. Chavez had the first 5 points of the game. Remember, it was Chavez 5, Bronx 4, and she hasn't scored since.
Yeah.
Tie up, and they'll go to the Bronx. And it's not like Queensborough is just missing shot after shot. They're not even getting the attempts off.
Theodore went back to that stand section there for a little bit of a drink or patch up. And as I was looking at the bench, it was only David and the assistant coach. So it's been a very lonely area on that bench.
Shot's no good. Radoncic with the rebound. She misses. Noel misses. Everybody misses. But Bronx will keep it anyway. Nice to see Rogers back in for Queensborough after she got hit in the face towards the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, if they, goodness gracious, if they were to lose one girl, then it's everybody's got to play lights out.
Hahn for 3, no good. Another offensive rebound. And Rodriguez can't chase it down.
Pete Cepeda a little out loud on that one. He didn't like the pass that was made.
Talking a little more, still quieter than we're used to seeing him.
Move the ball, which is what Queensborough did very nicely early in this game.
Rogers well short on the 3. Bronx looking to push the lead to 20 again.
I must say, a lot of those Bronx points in the first half came off turnovers that they made work down on the other end.
Turnover fest in the first 100 seconds of the second half. Bronx can afford the turnovers. Queensborough can't.
That's absolutely right.
Ahmed is fouled.
She got held by Rodriguez there.
Haven't been too many fouls called in this game. Not that we're complaining. Three-pointer from Dudley Adams, no good. I think she might have to make a few if Queensborough's
She
going to
hit
get
one
back in this game.
before. She hit a two-pointer before also, but that one just a little short there.
Rodriguez, no good. And chased down by Gibbons. Still no scoring in the third quarter for either team. Gibbons goes out of bounds, Queensborough ball.
I don't know. They called Chicago on that play. I don't know if that involves knocking a Queensborough girl right on her seat, but that's what happened. And Queensborough gets the ball back.
I mean, checking like the Chicago Blackhawks? Is that?
It could be.
Okay. Bronx back the other way. Rodriguez to Givens. Givens shot over Dudley Adams is no good.
And battling is Rogers to get the tie up there in a jump ball, which will go to Queensborough.
Queensborough's defense has actually done a good job in the half court. It was just all those uncontested layups in the second quarter which killed them. 3 minutes into the third quarter. Score same as it was at halftime. Ahmed to Dudley Adams. Velasquez right on her. Rogers to Ahmed. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Chavez on all over her. Rogers has to put it up. Three-pointer. Banked in.
Oh, goodness. I'm saying they have to work so hard to get a shot up. And Rogers just pulled one out there.
So it wasn't even really a jump shot. It's all arms on her shots.
It was like a heave that went in.
And then Dudley Adams called for a foul.
Queensborough let that clock run right down to the final second. Couldn't find anything available. There's a push by Rogers down here.
Rogers called for her second foul. They go right back inside, attacking Rogers. The shot no good. Velasquez touched it last. Queensborough ball.
It kept going inside, as you said, even though Rogers had pushed the girl before. It went right back in that direction.
Dudley Adams to Rogers. Ahmed. Rogers had to go through her hands, but right to Chavez. And Hahn called for a foul.
Queensborough being a lot more patient than they were in the middle portion of that second quarter. They're looking for good shots here.
Dudley Adams baseline jumper, no good. Hahn with the rebound. And now looking to push it. Pull-up jumper, no good. But chased down by Faye. And then lost out of bounds.
He just let that rebound get away. The two girls kind of banged into each other, and it looked like they had that rebound, Bronx, but they never got their hands on it securely.
Ahmed, jumper, short. Dudley Adams, the rebound. Her shot was blocked, but Faye has it. Double teamed Ahmed. Pass was broken up.
Well, they're giving Queensborough opportunities to work their way back into the game if they can.
Ahmed almost lost it, gets it back. That pass is almost turned over. They finally work it inside to Faye, and her shot is no good. Halfway through the third quarter, the only basket was at Rogers' three to beat the buzzer. As Hahn kicks it off her foot.
Yeah, and that's going to be Queensborough ball again. Bronx has looked non-sharp again.
And Bronx letting them hang around. They haven't scored in this quarter.
No. And Ahmed has pretty much had to be the point guard for the Lady Tigers, controlling the offense here.
Dudley Adams had her shot sent away. It was Faye with the rejection. Hahn over Rogers, and it's good off glass.
There was a little bit of a runner with the eyes closed on that.
Dudley Adams, it's good. She answers right back.
That was her
40-25.
best shot on the night. Very assertive on that one.
Givens back to Hahn. Velasquez thought about it. Hahn to Givens. Givens jumper, no good. But she gets her own rebound as nobody on Queensborough went for it. Everybody missing right at the basket. But Rodriguez puts it in.
Too many rebounds, Dave.
Are you talking to me or Chambers? Is that pass
Both
thrown
of you.
away?
Both of you. They made the initial stop. They made another stop. Then they got another rebound. Just battling out of a big hole right now. Ooh.
Garrett.
Oh, boy.
A no-look pass. Maybe she should have looked because she threw it to her coaches.
Well, let me ask you, how did that pass get into Garrett in the first place? It just made it by the hair on your chinny chin.
Kind of caught the Bronx defense off guard, and Ahmed hits the shot. They weren't expecting Queensborough to inbound that fast.
Yeah, every now and then they can look like they can shoot the ball, like they did right there.
Well, all of a sudden, it's down to 15. You get it down to 12 or 13 here. You're somewhat in it. For a team that struggled for large portions of the game. Theodore in the lane, the shot, no good, but she'll go to the line for two.
Yeah, you make up a little bit here, you make up a little bit there, and that's the way you have to do it if you're Queensborough. So now, I should keep my mouth shut, but if she can make these two free throws, it becomes a 13-point game now.
First one is good. Got a football score, right? 42-28. High-scoring football game, not so much for basketball. Theodore makes both.
Those kind of games won on Jan Stenerud field goal.
And Garrett comes right back with the basket.
Yeah, she showed her all-conference label there.
Foy corrals it, but couldn't score.
Locate the ball right now. That's
Garrett for three, no good, and rebounded by Dudley Adams.
They did a good job, Dave, getting on the ball at a certain point, because what happens is you'll shoot the ball, then you'll not get back, and can't let them have any easy points.
Theodore for three, and it's good. It's a 12-point game.
And she made the two free throws before, so that gives her a quick 4 points.
Go inside, Velasquez. All right, Leitner puts up a three. No good, and Dudley Adams with the rebound.
No need to hurry here. You have to be safe.
Queensborough could cut it to 9 or 10 here. Theodore may be feeling it. And she's fouled. Counted on the foul. Theodore shooting Queensborough right back into the game.
Started that move from way outside, got to the right of the lane, got hit, continued, and hit the shot. And I don't think she ever really saw the basket when she put it up. Now she can make the free throw. It's a 9-point game.
Wow.
Theodore now scored the last 7 points for them, by the way.
Bronx was keeping them around when they couldn't score for the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. So even though Queensborough was struggling, now it's a 9-point game. And Dudley Adams with the rebound. We're in the final minute of the third quarter.
Queensborough was back in the zone, and they're forcing Bronx outside.
Theodore again, too strong, but Phi with the offensive rebound. Then a tie-up, and it'll go to the Lady Broncos.
Good job by Garrett. It's good to see some life in the Lady Tigers, though, and they look like they're revved up again.
Hahn. Good ball movement. Leitner to the basket. No good. Tipped. And Leitner chases it down in the corner. They could hold for the final shot if they want, but Velasquez will just score herself.
Big move by Velasquez there.
15 seconds to go in the third. Theodore going all the way to the basket. No good. Tried to save it. She went too early because now Bronx has a chance, and the clock stopped for some reason. Now it's running. Leitner. No good. Ahmed with it, and that will end the third quarter.
I believe it is 46-35, and they just put it up that way, so it is.
Pizza Payton not happy with, I think Khan in particular, probably not too happy with too many people there.
So Bronx has an 11-point lead.
We could hear Pizza Payton from up here. There's a Pizza Payton we know.
No, he's not happy because they kind of let up on the gas pedal there in the third quarter, and Queensborough came on, Dave. They played a very good quarter.
They outscored Bronx 15-8 in that third quarter. The odd quarters have been nice to them. It's just that second quarter which did them in.
The odd quarters, the odd couples, everything. Well, hey, look, I like what I'm seeing right now. I think they got to keep it up, and there's only one quarter to go, so maybe they can do it. Who knows?
Bronx probably with more weapons, but if Theodore keeps continuing her hot streak, maybe makes a few threes, maybe Dudley Adams makes a three.
Nice 7-point streak there in a row by Theodore. She really lit the fire, I would say.
And boy, I think 8. Because it was the 2 free throws, a 3, and then the basket and the foul, so I think it was 8 points. And she was shooting Queensborough right back in.
Absolutely.
Much better showing for Queensborough than when they faced Bronx 3 weeks ago. They got pounded.
You're playing them here. You don't want to get embarrassed on your home court, that's for sure.
No.
I mean, you got to come out and play with some desire. And it looked like Queensborough had their intensity back in that third quarter. Let's see if they could keep it going, though. That's the difficult thing.
And you hope they didn't expand all their energy just trying to get to single digits again. You hope there's something left in the tank in the fourth quarter. You could see Bronx is much more aggressive than they were in the third, just like the way they were much more aggressive in the second than they were in the first. Dudley Adams, corner 3. It's good! The lead is down to 8. All of a sudden, 46-38.
Nice run by the Queensborough Lady Tigers. Good rebound there.
Leitner with the basket. You got to get that rebound. Lead back up to 10.
She's popped up in a few spots tonight.
Theodore. To Chavez. Almost a travel. That'll be another tie-up, and it will go to Bronx. David Chambers saying she got hit on the arm.
Yeah.
But whatever the ref said was good enough.
No, she would have been well instructed to take that ball back out on the dribble instead of trying to pursue the basket right there. But the turnover goes over to Bronx. 10-point game.
That shot off.
By more than a little.
Also, Ahmed being worked on behind the Queensborough bench. Hopefully she's okay. Go inside, Phi. Double teamed and another tie-up. Phi looked a little frustrated with the constant tie-ups.
Well, as long as she held on to the ball and allowed the tie-up and didn't throw it away, so.
When Dudley Adams wasn't looking to shoot. Theodore, long two, banked in.
Oh.
She's feeling it. Now Queensborough needs some stops. 48-40, 8:20 to go. Theodore got the hand in. Velasquez got it back, almost stripped away. And there's and they call traveling on Velasquez.
Well, this could be the Theodore coming out party, Dave.
Yeah. Or are they saying?
Very good. Technical foul against the Bronx. They lost their cool there a little bit.
First one is good.
You know, the Lady Tigers actually look like the better team on the court right now.
Too strong. They look like the better team in the first, third, and fourth quarters.
But they found something. They look a little bigger, a little stronger than Bronx right now.
And Velasquez really unhappy on the bench. I didn't catch what she did to get the technical because I was looking at the coaching staff.
She didn't say, "Did you get my Christmas card?"
No.
They're snapping those passes now and putting something on them.
Ahmed for three, no good. Chavez tries to save it in. That would have cut it to a 4-point game with 8 minutes to go.
They're playing with a lot of desire right now, so kudos to the Tigers.
Garrett, a big three. Lead is back up to 10.
Yeah, that's the game of basketball. You have to be aware of a gun like hers.
Chavez, it's good.
Now she threw that one up from about 13 feet on the run.
Garrett, another three. She's taking over. She has 18 off the bench.
Actually, a good game right now.
Theodore trying to answer back with the three. No good. Leitner behind the defense. And Leitner lays it in a nice quick move because she heard Rogers coming. And all of a sudden, it's 56-43 with 6:50 to go.
Yeah, I can't say enough about Leitner, how she sizes up where she is when she gets that ball ahead of the field and does not let anybody coming behind her get in her head, and she just goes to the basket nice and smooth. And, you know, this is the women's game, Dave, and we've seen the ladies blow layups at times, but she doesn't do it.
I'll tell you, Garrett, Hahn, and Leitner combining for 46 of the Bronx 56 points.
Well, they're the two best players on the court, and the other girl that you mentioned, Leitner and Garrett, they're very smooth. They get on the money. Look out! Garrett hit those two jump shots, key jump shots, because Queensborough was starting to close in on them a little bit.
And now we see, does Queensborough have one last run in them with 6:50 to go?
I think they do. I think they're going to keep playing this ball game right down to the end. But the question is, are they a little too far behind right now? Let's see.
And Garrett is just everywhere. And you can't even necessarily key on Garrett because then Leitner will beat you. Or Hahn will beat you as Queensborough's having trouble even inbounding.
Yeah, she's just being a nasty pest over there on the sideline and swatting the balls away. And what you have to do is you have to go that way, then release somebody on the other side and get it in.
You're going to take a few seconds off the shot clock because they kept inbounding and it would get knocked out of bounds and no time ran off the clock.
You got to fake inbounding it here and go back the other way.
Bronx still trying to force a few turnovers to put this game out of reach. A little too aggressive as they foul Chavez.
Chavez kept going with the ball. Looked like she was going to have it taken away, and then somebody reached in and fouled her.
Rogers to Dudley Adams. She puts up a three. No good. And Garrett. This time she goes all the way to the basket, and she'll go to the line for two.
Started to slow up, then picked up her pace again and continued going through and drew the foul.
Coach Cepeda was telling us before the game he thinks she's probably the best player on the team.
And there's no doubt she is, but, you know, Leitner, she's been pretty impressive tonight, too, in terms of what she's been able to do in the open court.
It's a little more even where the last few years where it was Escobar dominating on her own. This is a little more spread out. Garrett now with 20 points. 58-43, 6:40 to go.
As hard as the Lady Tigers have played, now they're back down by 15, so they can't afford any slip-ups here.
Chavez puts up an air ball. Lollipop pass, Garrett for three. Again.
Now she's killing them right now, Dave.
I think that's game. Garrett again. Well, heat check there. Chavez.
Garrett has basically been all over the place. She's batting the ball away. She's hitting the outside shot.
Full timeout taken by the Bronx.
So she's living up to her reputation and her ability as Garrett, and she's basically gotten them back out to an 18-point lead. So tough, Dave. The Tigers had it down to 51-43. That means 10 straight points by Bronx, and they've lifted that lead back up again.
I think that was the run Queensborough had in them, cutting it to 8, and that's about as far as it went. Wonder what the timeout was taken for by Bronx. Just not wanting to let Queensborough back in the game at all, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the way Pete likes to space it out and maybe talk about a few things at certain times just to keep them sharp. But I'll tell you this, the timeout might do the Tigers a little bit of a service here, and maybe they can trim a little off this lead and perhaps make one more run at it. But it's really an 18-point edge now is very tough to deal with.
Dudley Adams at the basket. It's good. She has a dozen points. See if Bronx runs some clock. Go right inside. Fay missed. Queensborough probably got away with the foul. Chavez wasn't expecting the pass, and it's a turnover. It's like she was trying to duck out of the way of the pass.
Very tough situations when they get helter-skelter like that.
Off glass, too strong.
Good rebound by Dudley Adams. Very strong one in there.
This game has actually had a pretty good pace. Not many fouls called. And there's a block.
Med actually got too far under the basket to deliver that ball, but down here is another foul.
Queensborough foul charge number 34, Lisa Theodore. First personal foul, second team foul.
She hooked Garrett going along the baseline. 2 team fouls, no shooting. They'll throw in. 4:41 on the clock.
Garrett fouled.
She got bumped out of bounds there.
I just had to say that there weren't a lot of fouls called, didn't I? 4:35 to go. Deardor called for 2 fouls in about 5 seconds. Leitner back in. Rodriguez. Nice basket. 63-45.
That was beautifully done off a nice feed by Leitner.
Deardor for 3. No good. See if Bronx starts to run down the clock a bit. No reason to be in a rush. Or they could do that as Fay gets in the scoring column. 65-45.
Well, they want to get Rogers back in for Queensborough, and I would say the Bronx is in the process of closing this one out with a 20-point lead with 4 minutes to go.
Well, we have another game after this. Queensborough and Bronx men will square off. Queensborough men looking for their first win in the conference play. So that should be a good matchup. Rogers lays it in. Three and a half to play. Well, Queensborough does look better than when we saw them against Hostos.
I'm going to give them a lot of credit tonight. I don't think they ever gave up in this game. Garrett's a terrific player, and she really lit a fire back under the Bronx Broncos when they were really struggling for a while there.
I'll tell you, with the losing they did the first part of the season, I guess the second half could go one of 2 ways for Queensborough. Either they, even if they don't make the playoffs, improve in the second half like they did last year and play better, or if the losing starts to get to them and their confidence starts to wane, it could kind of get out of hand.
Well, they're going to have a very tough time winning games, and they have to really work hard at it. They proved that they can, at some point, stay in this game, and they have to bring it a little further. But you mentioned it coming into this fourth quarter. Will they have the stamina or the amount of substitutes available to just keep up with the Broncos at a kind of frenetic pace?
I think that run to cut it to 8 was kind of all they had as Leitner lays it in.
Yeah, and then Leitner and Garrett have been doing that all night, so, they really make it tough on you. And once again, the ball gets turned over and you're back on defense.
Well, Bronx will improve to 4-2 in CUNY. Missing every shot there.
They're not a bad team, Bronx. They're not the best team in the CUNY, but Pizza Peta is definitely working on that come tournament time to try to get them to be very competitive, of course.
I think Hostos will be the favorite as Theodore hits a 3. Hostos beat the Bronx by 35 earlier in the season.
How many for Theodore now, David?
I have her for 19.
She had a very good second half.
She shot them back into the game when Queensborough cut it to single digits.
She brought them back.
Ahmed, that's no good. Down to 1:15. Nice pass.
Let me work on my no-look dandy.
Final minute of play. Chavez has a shot blocked. Bronx still playing defense.
She just swallowed up that ball, Leitner. Whoop.
Hey, Chavez with the block.
Hey, a block can beget a block.
And then Chavez loses it.
Well, 21-point game. It's going to be in that avenue for Queensborough, but there were spots where they actually played well in this game.
Bronx can basically wind the clock down. Givens.
And David is hoping they will.
Huh. So I guess we'll see if the final score will be over or under 20 points.
Yeah, try to get it under 20 here, Queensborough.
See, Theodore for 3, no good.
She was trying.
And Bronx will win 71-50.
So they win both games this year against Queensborough, right?
Yeah, now Queensborough 1-5 in CUNY.
And they're going to have to assess what took place in this game, hope they can get maybe a couple of girls in here. And there were a few bright spots. Maybe they can put something together before the year's over.
Well, there's still another game tonight. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Thanks for watching this one. For Joe Massey, this is QCC alum David Russell. The final score, Bronx 71, Queensborough 50.